I'm going to start with just a quick review about what we did yesterday in this lesson. So in this lesson, make sure that you have your notes out, and as I pause to give you, whenever I give you time to work, go ahead and press the pause button in the video, and then that way you can pause, try the problem, and then unpause it, press play so that you can see how I went over the problem, okay? So we talked about how sometimes we multiply fractions by fractions and sometimes whole numbers by fractions. But in this one, we're talking about when we have a fraction that is greater than 1. So like in our launch, we were looking at like 3.5. And we first started off with models. So we had models that look like this. And right here, you can see that in this area, we had 2.5 gallons of water, and it was 3/4 full. So remember, we go 2.5 this way, so I go past the 2 and over half. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are fourths, so half of that would be 2. So I go right here, 2.5, and then I go up 3/4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes, so I go up 3. Think of it like if I were to put a dot here on 3/4 and I put a dot over here on 2.5, and then I kind of combine those. That means that this is how much water is still in the bird bath. Okay? We then said that was the same as of the 2.5, 3/4 is its full, of the 2.5, so if you think of this as of, it is 3/4 full. 3/4 of the 2.5. And remember that of is times. We then counted all of these. That gave us 30. And then we look at one whole. So if I look at just what one whole is, so I counted all the ones underneath. Now I'm looking at the denominator. So right here, I'm just looking at one whole. And there's 4 by 4, so that would be 16. Giving us an answer of 30/16, which we then, I'm going through this one a little fast because we already did this one. I divided both by 2, and then now I have an improper fraction. So remember, we said all of this comes together. So in an improper fraction, I'm going to divide. I'm going to put the 15 under the bridge and the 8 right here because I'm dividing 15 into 8 parts. So 8 times what is as close to 15 as I can go without going too big would be 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. The 7, this is a review, so feel free to look back at I-12, which was the second lesson in our book, if you're stuck. 7 is my numerator, 8 is my denominator. So my answer to this problem is 1 7/8. Okay? The second problem we looked at was another one with modeling, and that one was our hummingbird feeder. I'm not going to go through this whole problem again because this one should be done in your notes. If it's not, feel free and pause the video right here. Look at my work again, how we solved it in class. So just as a quick refresher, if I'm using a model and it says 4/5 of 1 1/3, that's the same as times. I always start with the one on the right because that's my whole. Of the 1 1/3, I have 4/5. So here's the 1, but I don't just need 1, I need 1/3. So I look here and I have 1, 2, 3, 3 parts. Think of this like a number line. 1 1/3, well, it's past the 1, and it's one spot past because it's already broken up into thirds. Now, I would have, if I had the whole thing, I would have all of this. Oops, not there. And all of this. So I'd have this whole part. But I don't have all of it. I only have 4/5. Since I only have 4/5, now I go the other direction. Now I'm moving up this way. Once again, think of it like a number line. 0, 1. I'm less than 1 because I don't have a whole number here. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 parts, and I want 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want 4/5. Okay, so I want 4/5 of this 2/3. 1 1/3, excuse me. So now I'm just going to color those. Those are the ones that I have. Sorry, that is very messy. I should have used a different tool, like this one. Let's see if it'll work. No, that's not going to be much easier to see. Okay, now I'm going to count which ones I colored. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 is my numerator because that's how many boxes I have colored. Okay? But I have to figure out what's my denominator. That's my whole. So I'm going to take this away just so I can see a little better. My whole is this red box right here because 1 to 1, that's one whole. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 15ths. Now, so remember the 16 came from what I had colored. The 15 is just how many boxes are in one hole, not this whole thing. This whole thing is 2 holes, okay? And I only want 1 to find my denominator. Okay, now I have to divide, so I have 16 and 15. Goes once. I'm going through this a little faster because we've already done that lesson, but feel free to look back at I-12. Okay, that's using a model. But if I want to not use a model and I want to use an algorithm, we're going to combine what we know about mixed numbers and improper fractions and what we know about how to multiply fractions. So remember, so now I'm on the next page. So look at your key concept. Okay, in Science A, we went through this, but in Science B, we didn't yet. Excuse me, Math A and Math B. Okay, so I'm going to go through this again. Remember, if I just have a fraction like this, I would just do 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But my issue right here, write this number sentence, this mathematical sentence, into your book. Okay, 2/3 times 6 1/2. Now we're going to try this one right here. The first thing I'm going to do is decide what do I need to change. Okay, 2/3 is fine. It's already a proper fraction. It's easy to multiply. I bring down my multiplication sign, and now I have 6 1/2. 6 1/2, I can't do it right now because I have a whole number here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to to an improper fraction. I want it in this form, like that. So to do that, remember, also from I-12, the second lesson in your book, if you need to look back at it, in your blue book, is 2 times 6, because there's 6 holes and each one's cut into 2. That gives me 12. I'm going to add my leftover 1. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. My denominator stays the same. Okay? Now, I could just multiply across and get 26 over 6, and I could then change that back. Showing that work. Sorry. 2 6. And then I can divide both of those by 2, giving me 4 1/3. However, I want to do that cross-canceling, that simplifying the factors. You need to make sure you're practicing this. So I'm going to start again with this. I'm going to look diagonal. Remember we talked about thinking about like a multiplication sign? 2 and 2. Is there anything I can cross-reduce? Yes, I can divide both 2 and 2 by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. Whatever I do to this partner, I have to do to this one. 2 divided by 2 is 1. I look the other way. There's nothing I can divide, there's not a common factor between 13 and 3. The only common factor is 1, and that's going to stay the same. So now I can multiply across. 1 times 13 is 13. 3 times 1 is 3. Now I divide. 13 divided by 3. Okay, so 3 times what will get me to 13 without going over is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 1, 4 and 1/3. I get the same answer. Okay? That's all we have to do. So the answer to this problem is 4 and 1/3. Sorry for the messiness. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next problem. The road up a mountain is 3 1/3 miles. Don't forget to circle and use your strategies. The lookout point is 1/4 of the way. So I hear 1/4 of the way. How far is it from the start to the first lookout? So of the way, and the full way is 3 1/3. Okay, try it. Pause me when you're done. Press play. Okay, so you should have already tried the problem. 1/4 is the same as of is the same as multiplication. So now I have this problem here. 1/4 stays the same, the multiplication comes down. I change this one, so I do times and then plus. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. If you're struggling with that, look back at lesson I-12, which is the second one. My denominator stays the same. Now I have this. I look and see, is there anything I can cross reduce? 1 and 3? Nope. Both can only be divided by 1. 10 and 4, sweet, I can divide by 2 again. So I'm going to divide that by 2. That gives me 5. Whatever I do to this partner, I have to do to this one. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now I can go. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 3 is 6. Right now, 5 is smaller than 6, so I don't have to change it. I'm looking to see if I can reduce it at all, and I can't, so that gives me 5/6. If you didn't cross reduce, you got 1 times 10 is 10, and 4 times 3 is 12. That would have given you 10/12. Then you could have divided by 2, and you would have come up with the same answer. But as the numbers get bigger, this way here is going to be so much easier when we start getting to bigger numbers. Okay? Try the next one. So a track is 1/3 mile around. If you jog 4.5 times around the track, how far will you jog? Try that one. And then when you have tried it, don't forget, push through it, try it, use your strategies. Remember that we talked a lot about grappling with hard problems. Try that problem and then press play. Okay, you should have already done it. If not, pause it. I'm going to circle and underline keywords. It says 1/3 mile around. If you jog 4.5 times around, how far will you jog? All right, nice. I have it already set up. I put in my arrows. My time stays the same. My 1/3 stays the same. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. My denominator stays the same. I'm going to look. Can I cross reduce? 2 and 1? Nope. 9 and 3? Yes, I can. I can divide by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. Now, I go like this. So notice how it all comes back to what we talked about. Okay, this is the bulk of what we were doing, and there are, when you look, a couple more problems to try, okay, as practice. Then your homework is over 5-2. There's a few models, but the bulk of it is using what we just went over, okay? Right here is your homework space. I'm sorry, I said 5-2 instead of 5-3. Is 5-3. Please write down your work here. I should see arrows showing me. I should see lots of work. Don't forget that when you have a video, you can rewind and watch any parts that were confusing to you. Okay? You did a great job. Make sure you filled in your notes and then go back and try the homework. Okay? And if you have any questions, remember, just check in with me so that I can help you out. Grapple through those hard problems. You can do it.